Hello, welcome to today's video. This will be brief. I'm just going to introduce to you what you will be doing for homework week 6. So if you really lock in and pay attention to this video and follow exactly what I'm saying, you're going to be in a much better position to complete project 2. So project 2 is going to be you analyzing and writing a rhetorical analysis of Janet Jackson's 90s music video, Got Till It's Gone. I promise I have a reason for this. Not only is it an excellent music video, but it's like the perfect juxtaposition of content and context to really give you a good example of how you might do something like this for any piece of media going forward in your life in the future. So you also will have a moment to understand what is the difference between denotation and connotation. And I promise it will make a little bit more sense, maybe not after this video, but after the following video. So just kind of lock in and see where this goes. So we will actually get started on this process. So how do we do this? If you are trying to do a rhetorical analysis of any text, you want to just go into it cold. That is to say, you have no preconceived notions. You are watching and you are just letting it all wash over you and watching it for the first time to get a first impression. So the next time though, you'll want to start maybe taking some notes and really focusing in on one or two details, even though, as we discussed, analyzing multimodal texts, things that are not just written, things that are not just a static visual image, it's quite complex. A lot of my students report saying that it's challenging to focus on one detail, but we're going to challenge our minds to really hone in and be critical viewers of media. So once you actually have watched it through several times, noticing something, you want to look at, okay, what is the context of the video? And we call this rhetorical context. That means who produced it, who made it, who is the author, what was the intention there, maybe what is the history of the thing that's going on, the content of the actual video or the text. Who do we think the audience is? What do we think the connection between the audience and author and the context of the actual thing might be? So once you have all of those details, then you can kind of say, okay, here's some visuals or some sounds or some colors or some motifs, some objects that keep coming up. And I think that there is a deeper meaning other than just what we see on the screen. Here's how the author, or maybe she doesn't even know she's doing it, here's kind of the meaning that is created in this text when you put all of those things together. So the way we do a cold reading of a multimodal visual text is to just kind of let it wash over. So don't really worry too much about this until you've actually done one viewing of it. But once you've actually watched this video, just gotten a sense of what it's like, then I want you to see if you can choose one or two of these features to really look for and follow as it occurs in the video. So here's some of the things you might pay attention to. Are there things, objects, visual motifs that you continue to see throughout? And if you do, you might start thinking, well, what might that symbolize? What might be the connotation that comes out of that? What is the reason, the meaning behind including that visual object throughout? Maybe you look at the colors. Is there something about the colors that really affect the meaning of the piece? What about the way that the camera is moving? Is the camera always really close up? Is the camera in a broad angle? Is the camera following people? Is it making cuts strangely? Lots of different things going on with the camera work itself. What about the sound? How does the sound affect the meaning of it? What about the characters that you see? What about their affect, their costuming, their presence do you notice, their body language? What about the juxtaposition of different scenes? So is there quick juxtaposition from something very beautiful to something very ugly? Or is there something very intense? Or is it more of a serene transition? Then Are there any references that this video is making? Is it referencing something from the past? What is that connection? How might that add to a deeper meaning? So once you do your second reading, you're really trying to say, okay, I'm going to pay attention mostly to the camera angles, or I'm going to pay attention to the colors, or I'm going to pay attention to some specific visual motif, some object that keeps coming up. So that's what you're going to start doing in your second reading. So right now, I would like you to go ahead and do this. Make sure that you have your notes, because as the homework shows, you're going to have to take some notes and show that to me for part 1 of your homework. So you might pause this video, come back to it after you've done a cold reading and after you've done your second reading, and you try to focus on at least 1 or 2 of the elements that I've listed here for your second reading. What are you noticing about this video? So I quickly want to go through this concept of the difference between denotation and connotation, because remember how we said that in a rhetorical analysis, you are not really looking at what happened, right? So what happened is, well, Batman saved the day. The connotation, that is what we're looking for. Denotation is what actually happened on the screen, what literally took place. And connotation is the feelings and the thoughts that arise, or the ways that it makes us think about something larger that connects to a larger audience. So again, denotation, what is denoted? What you actually see noted on the text. It's the primary or the literal meaning of a word or an image. But the connotation is all of the different associations that come to mind when you see that thing that might not be that literal thing. So a very, very basic example is the heart. So whenever we think of the primary literal meaning of the word heart, it is an organ that is in our bodies, that is pumping our blood through our bodies so that our sacks of meat bodies continue to exist in this world. But if we think about the connotations of heart, it's totally wild. Like, it's many different associations. It could be courage. It could be romantic love. It could be filial love. Heart also could mean putting your passion into something, right? So there are lots of connotations of heart. And so what we're looking for in an analysis is not so much the literal meaning of the scene. So if you see people dancing, your analysis can't be they're having a good time because they're dancing, right? The analysis needs to get at something more about the connotation of what is it trying to have us think and feel. It's a little bit like metaphor. So in other words, if you see close, tight shots of many, many faces, that's a denotation. I see that we're seeing like people's faces really close up. But your analysis will need to go further and say, okay, well, what does this quick change and close-up shots actually symbolize? Could it be claustrophobia? Is it voyeurism? Is it intimacy? You might ask yourself, what's the effect on the audience? Does it mean that the audience is up close and personal with the characters and that they're connected? Or is it more of like a frustrating feeling? Does the audience feel smothered? And here's the thing, you can't just interpret based off of what you see on the screen. You have to connect your interpretation to something bigger. And that's what we're gonna do in the rest of this week's homework after you do your cold readings. So when you're finished with your cold reading and your second kind of more focused reading and you've taken notes, I want you to handwrite the answers to these questions. Where and when do you think this video is set? And what clues give you that impression? Then I want you to just talk generally. How do you feel while you're watching this video? And what are the multimodal features that give you that feeling? Finally, what really catches your eye the most? What do you notice over and over? And what is something strange that makes you say, why is that there? That you think you have maybe a hypothesis that will help guide an analysis that you have. So good luck with the first part of your homework.